Every single institution out there will soon be using DLT and blockchain technology. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick, and today we are really going to be addressing what's happening between Ripple and XRP and Hedera and Hbar, right? Because now we're starting to see legitimization coming to this space slowly but surely, because it is going to take a little bit more time. We still have to get through regulations, right? We still need regulatory clarity for the entire space before we start throwing the party, right? But things are starting to change, and I do believe that we are getting to that point in time where almost every single institution, every single big player out there will be tapped in on DLT and blockchain. And already we know a lot of big names that are already tapped in, like BlackRock and Franklin Templeton and major banking players as well. And a few companies come to mind when we talk about institutions, when we talk about enterprises, and obviously Ripple is one of them, right? But the reason why I bring up Ripple and the reason why I'm bringing up this video is because remember the work put in order to get to the point where we are at right now around some of these companies like Ripple. And we have back here on May 8th of 2023, Ripple spent $200 million fighting the SEC lawsuit. CEO Brad Garlinghouse tells CNBC's Dan Murphy at the Dubai FinTech Summit. Check this out.
So what's your message to the SEC chair as you sit here in the UAE and in Dubai announcing an expansion of your business to this region, given the state of regulation in the United States right now?
Who? No, I'm kidding. All right, so look, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I find it as a company that started in the United States and as someone who's a US citizen, it's sad. Like, I have sadness about this. The US is getting past not just a little bit, but by a lot. And but the tough thing about this is you have a country that I think has put politics ahead of policy. And that's not a good decision if you're trying to invest in the economy. You're seeing it, certainly here in the UAE with VARA, the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. Certainly what's happened recently in Europe with MiCA. The United States is definitely stuck. And Ripple, the case with the SEC, we will spend, the first time I've shared this publicly, by the time it's said and done, we will have spent $200 million defending ourselves against a lawsuit, which from its very beginning, people were like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. You have video footage of the chair of the SEC as a professor at MIT saying 75% of these digital assets are commodities. And now he says they're all securities because he's the head of the SEC and he's seeking power and he's putting power ahead of sound policy to grow an economy in the United States. Blockchain technologies are being invested in and pursued in the entrepreneurship outside the United States. And one of the first pieces of advice I give entrepreneurs when they come and ask me, hey, I'm getting something started, I'll say, if I were you, I would not start in the United States. And I think there's a lot of US-based companies and even US public companies that would agree with that.
The alt season time bomb is ticking, and now is the best time to go and get your free access to 30 secret crypto gems that I personally have researched completely for you so that you can save a ton of time and make a ton of money. The link down in the description below takes you guys to this page where you can claim your free access instantly right now, free of charge. It's completely free. So what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Go and click the link down in the description below as well as in the comments below to get access now. And as we really look at this, right, the reason why I'm bringing it back up is because they did put $200 million into fighting the SEC. I believe that we're getting very close to having the political stance in the US change, especially with the fact that it is election year. We're probably going to see a new president, right? Either way, things are about to change heavily around crypto because we have MiCA coming up. We have these big regulatory movements, and it's only going to put more pressure on the US. We need to make a decision. We need to move forward on regulatory clarity, and it's only going to benefit a lot of these projects, like, for an example, XRP and Hbar. We already know that XRP did get cleared back in July of 2023 as not a security, which was a huge win, massive win. And outside of that, we already know that Ripple is working with major organizations They want to utilize XRP. I think that this article was a little bit of a misconception, because I don't think that they're fully using XRP as a bridge currency. I think that they're planning on using XRP as a bridge currency, because if there was this much use case around XRP, then XRP would be soaring right now. But we do know that there is so many institutions, so many enterprises, so many organizations working with Ripple around pioneering blockchain-based technology, and they want to tap into it. Even just recently as well, and this goes back to May 29th, Ripple CTO David Schwartz to unveil vision for institutional DeFi on the XRP ledger at Consensus, where we did get a glimpse at the future around the XRP ledger around institutional DeFi. We know that Ripple is actually hiring around Ripple X Dev for institutional DeFi initiatives to be created on the XRP ledger, mainly focusing on tokenization, but also other use cases. We also know that the XRP ledger does have amendments around borrowing and lending protocols and other things, of course, as well. But for the most part, that's what we really kind of focus on. Now, as we do think about this, why am I talking about Ripple? Why am I talking about Hedera? Why am I talking about these projects? It's because, listen, if we go back to January, big shout out to Max Walker Williams for this. We have Stop What You're Doing. I've just had the honor of interviewing two great men you may know from Ripple and Hedera. We are stronger together, says crypto legends Lehman Baird and Brad Garlinghouse. Now, I wanted to give a shout out to Max Walker Williams before I play this video clip, because he was the one that really kind of brought these two together. And we have Must Watch, XRP, Algo, Hbar plotting to work together. Big shout out to Good Morning Crypto, showcasing the power of collaboration in the crypto space. This video explores how these three tokens can reshape the future and unlock mutual benefits. Will we see a Hedera, Ripple, and Algorand collaboration in 2024? And remember, right, as we really look at what's happening, as regulatory clarity comes to the space and as adoption continues to grow, it's not going to be, oh, we're in competition. No, it's how can we collaborate and make sure that this is a success. Collaboration is crucial. Competition, it's really just immature, if I'm being honest. But listen closely to this video clip.
Another place where tribalism is not helpful to us. Right. And so if we can work together, Algorand just mentioned that they're going to work on this, we're going to work on this, and
we're going to make sure we start to talk about whether we can collaborate as well, so it's good.
Oh wow, yeah, fantastic. Possibly. That's and we're going to talk about how we can collaborate with the things you were talking about for scam identification and dealing with it. I think that we can work together in a lot of ways as an industry.
So guys haven't, again, you know, they are very, very adamant about working together along with each other on a few things. And we do know just recently on May 9th, actually, Ripple and the XRP Ledger Labs joins Hedera and Algorand ecosystems as founding members of DeRec Alliance, with other great prominent names, like, for an example, even Casper's on here. But this was huge because it showed us that the space, specifically the legitimate players, are collaborating and working together on certain things, especially around mass market adoption in terms of decentralized recovery and things like that, which are crucial building blocks in order to have mass adoption achieved within the space. Now, very similar to Ripple and XRP, Hedera is also at the forefront of institutional adoption. When we go over here to a recent post from Hedera, and it is day 2 of Consensus 2024. This goes back to May 30th. We have AI and blockchain application, a practical guide for developers. And then we also have staying ahead of the curve, the future of digital asset regulation. Now, do you guys wonder why these players like Hedera and Ripple are so adamant about crypto adoption and crypto regulation? Well, it's because we don't get to mass adoption without proper regulations. That's why, as we do start to see the planning process around regulations, and also, by the way, these companies, Hedera and Ripple, are both very compliant with regulators. They've been trying to work with regulators since day one. They've been trying to stay on top of the game as well since day one as well. Hedera and Ripple are two companies, in my opinion, that you need to focus on in terms of what the moves they are making are. And as we do know, Ripple, yes, they pioneer XRP. They love XRP. They utilize XRP. The CTO, as well as other prominent names, have worked on the XRP ledger and created the XRP ledger and XRP as well. So again, we really kind of look at Ripple as XRP, but they're not really the same thing. It's just a digital asset that Ripple does use. But outside of that, we have to focus on these projects because they're the ones that are going through all the hoops, all the ladders to get to that point where they have compliance, they have, clarity around regulations. They want to be compliant. They want to be leaders around this digital asset revolution. So as we look at Hedera and Ripple, they are two that are definitely there. Now, the reason why I bring up this this post is because look at the names tied to this. We have Worldpay, Hedera, and Fireblocks. Okay, here is a little bit more of an in-depth view on how this looked. So we have Fireblocks, Worldpay, and also Hedera. Here we have the overall discussion area of what they were really kind of just talking about, which was, you know, compliance, regulations, things like that. And this is all forging the path towards institutional adoption, enterprise adoption, which will also lead to mass adoption. Because let's be honest, you know, everyone out there is utilizing enterprise grade applications or institutional grade applications without really realizing. Your banking app, for an example, is tied back to an institution. When you utilize an application around, you know, it could be any name, any enterprise grade name. It could be a Walmart app. It could be, you know, any name, right? I'm just using an example. You look at a TV, right? You're utilizing an enterprise grade application. Like these applications, or device, I should say, these devices are directly tied back to billions of users, and a simple upgrade to the technology within those devices, or, you know, an application on those devices could immediately lead to mass adoption. So as we really look at this, right? Yes, we do need regulatory clarity, but also focus on the names. As we do wait on regulatory clarity, focus on the names that some of these projects are working with. They're in the same room with. This one, in terms of Fireblocks and Worldpay, these are two giants. We know Worldpay is tapped in already with Hedera. We know that they're utilizing Hedera technology. This is one of the biggest players out there around finance. I've always brought up the fact that Worldpay is a massive giant. You go to the About section on Worldpay, right? We could see 225 markets, 146 countries, 135 local currencies, 2.2 trillion processed annually, 1 million plus merchants worldwide, 130 million plus daily transactions. Like, this is an absolute giant around payment technology, and we already know that they are working with Hedera. They're in the same room here as well, talking about, you know, regulatory clarity and really kind of the future of digital asset regulation. I do believe that we're getting closer to proper regulations around crypto, and once we are there, the last obstacle to major adoption from enterprises and financial institutions, guess what? It's removed, and now they can really kind of take hold of this technology, utilize it, tap into it, and really kind of embrace it. Now, also Fireblocks. Guys, this is one of the biggest platforms out there around institutions. When we go over to their website, we can see the simplest and most secure way to work with digital assets. Fireblocks provides a suite of applications to manage digital asset operations and a complete development platform to build your business on the blockchain. And when we look at this, 4 trillion plus transactions secured, right? This is $4 trillion plus transactions secured, 170 million plus wallets created, trusted by 1,800 of the world's leading organizations. And just look at some of these names, guys. This is insane. But it just goes to show you the amount of, you know, the amount of names already in this space. When we talk about institutions, right, we're always looking at like, oh, we're here before all of these institutions. We're really not, right? Unless you got in like very early on, we're really not. I mean, yeah, BNY Mellon on here, okay? You have BNP Paribas, you have Wisdom Tree, VanEck, ANZ, NAB, like these are big names. And these are just some, right? Because there's over 1,800 plus. But when we look at these names like Fireblocks and we look at names like Worldpay and you see them in the same room with Hedera, it's very similar when we look at Ripple and they're in the same room as like the IMF or like the BIS, because we know that the BIS is working with Ripple. It gives me the same exact feeling. It's like, all right, well, we know that these are big names. They see the value behind this technology. They want to utilize this technology, and they will utilize this technology. They're already, you know, pioneering it to their clientele. When we look at Fireblocks, like, yeah, they're already tapped in with 1,800 of the world's leading organizations, because this is a platform where these organizations can tap into wallets as a service, or crypto and DeFi treasury, financial tokenization and NFT minting. Like, this is use cases that these big players want to utilize. And even as we look at Ripple, right, like around payment technology, it's a huge game changer. But also Ripple now looking into DeFi and tokenization, it just shows you where we're headed, right? Things are changing rapidly. I always say, like, if you blink, you'll miss it, because that's how fast things happen around crypto. This technology is very, very disruptive. And I think that's only a matter of time until we start to see the big players and the big winners also spotlighted on. Ripple, Hedera, Algorand, these are some great projects. Overall, right now, when we look at price action around like Hbar or XRP and stuff, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not doing anything. It's, oh, there's all these great applications. There's all this adoption, but the price is going nowhere. I want you guys to realize we still have one obstacle in our way, and that is regulatory clarity. That one obstacle is the gatekeeper that is holding back trillions of dollars and massive amounts of users and value to flood into this space. And I don't say that to, give you guys hope or, clickbait or anything like that. No, it's the truth. Like, that is the last obstacle. After that, there's no slowing this technology down. It's just the same thing as like AI and blockchain, as you guys do see here. Like, the convergence of AI and blockchain, it is so disruptive, and it's going to move so quick once it's fully embraced. Guys, the future is extremely bright, especially for a lot of these projects like Hedera and Ripple. And I'm very excited about being a holder of XRP and Hbar as well, because you can just see how commendable it is to see these names like Ripple, Algorand, all on the same list, even with Hedera, right? And it goes to show you that collaboration is definitely the key to it all. If you're not looking at this space as, oh, they can collaborate together, or you're looking at it as just like, oh, it's competition, my project's better than this, it's very immature. The future is collaboration. There's a lot of value in collaborating together, especially when you have a name as big as Ripple and a name as big as Hedera coming together with names like Algorand and Casper. Very excited about this stuff. Definitely looking forward to the future. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.